My name is Joanne Cherisma. I was born and raised in Haiti. Activities, I'm very involved in my community. I like to help people. I published a book about 2 years ago. It's called I Never Thought I Would Be a Statistic. I started Beyond the Abuse in 2016, and it was after getting out of abusive marriage. I was blessed enough to get out alive. So I wanted to share my experience and show other people out there that it's possible to thrive after an abusive situation where they can feel comfortable to come and have a voice, express themselves, and find help, seek help, or express yourself, whatever the case might be. So we hosting different sort of activities. We have empowerment session, group support. You can actually, find your way out and find your purpose, grow, and help other people. So that's how the journey started. And when I just started, I realized that I had a lot of barrier myself as a human being, a lot of preconceived notion personally that I had to get out of. The first main thing for myself was the feeling of shame and guilt because Haitian, you have to talk and you have to be strong, independent. And of course, we know these things happen. And I remember having this conversation with my girlfriend, like, oh, if he hits you once, you're going to keep doing it. We got to get out. And having all that strong pep talk, and then finding myself in that situation, I felt that I felt very weak and I was ashamed because I choose to be with that person. I felt like I could have been, wiser. I could have listened better. So I had to also deal with how they were gonna perceive me, how they were gonna receive me. And the whole time this was happening, nobody knew, nobody didn't talk about it at all. Some people, of course, they were suspicious. They felt like something was wrong because I became withdraw. I wasn't talking as much. I wasn't going out. So they felt like, something was probably off, but most of them probably thought like, oh, maybe like, now she's married, maybe it's a different life. So most of the barrier that I encountered from other people was judgment. A lot of men and women were very judgmental. It was very, very hard because a lot of people, they don't want to accept that this is actually a problem and deal with it. After I got out my situation and I started going to therapy, I started meeting other women. And that's actually when I realized that I wasn't the only person who went through that. Because somehow, for some reason, even if I heard of this happening, I still felt I was the only case for some reason. Going to group therapy and actually meeting like physically some other women and hearing their stories in detail and relate to their stories made me realize that I wasn't the only person. Like, and why nobody is talking more about this? Why is it so taboo? If it's so common, and it was basically the same stories happening to different people. So why, if it's so common, why there's not more noise about it, especially in the Black community? So I really felt like I needed to do something about it, and I really needed to help and hopefully prevent somebody else from going through the same thing. Usually, like they paint a broad picture, but nobody really goes into the details with you. They don't talk about their signs before you actually get into the relationship. So it's like many different talk that they're not having in the household. And I really felt like I needed to do something. So it's open to everybody. And we also been working with teenagers. I realized also a lot of these situations start as a early age, and once you in the pattern, it's harder to get out because you kind of get to think that this is a okay situation when it's actually not, until somebody comes and tell you like this is not okay. Yes, we basically we've been covering all this different topic, and each event, we try to have the speakers as diverse as possible. This situation, nobody is exempt from them. It doesn't matter your race, your educational background, your profession, in their childhood, or so it's we try to make the session as comfortable as possible, and where everybody can come and relate, and the main goal is to actually make you realize that whatever situation you're going in, you're not alone, and there's actually help available. You don't have, to suffer in silence, and your past doesn't define your future. Always, make me feel like this is really needed, and it's helping, and especially when the people keep coming back, and like either texting, sending messages to say thank you. Even if it's one person, it's always matter, because basically it's alive that sort of saving. Like if they're looking for shelter, if they want to get out, or if they um if food or anything, we try to direct them to the right resources. If we don't provide, if we don't provide that specific need that they encounter at the moment, or if it's simply, they're looking for a community, like to be supportive, or they want to be among other people that share the same experience where they can relate. So in that case, they just come and participate in the different activities that we have, different kind of session that we host. And the people will usually come or certified, either if they're social workers or nurses, therapists, or people that actually been in the situation and have like a personal life experience with it. People are watching, so all of this little stuff, I'm very grateful for them. They're very encouraging. First, I will say you're not alone. Whatever situation you might be going through, even if in your head, because your mind trick you into thinking weird things. Even if your head you think like nobody else is going through this, nobody else will understand, I'm the only one. You never alone. You're never alone. There's and also, like I always say, you need to speak up, speak out. And my biggest dream would be like, uh, um to have us established everywhere, and especially in my home country, of course, where we have so many different crazy stories happening, and where actually women, we feel like um we cannot talk about them for some reason, and we're being judged by men and women, because they raise us to just be quiet and look pretty, even if in their mind people want to make you feel like it's a different time and things are changing, but somehow there's some notion that's still there, and they're still there no matter what. People, even if they're not saying anything, but you can see by their look that you being judged. So yeah, I really that's my dream. I really hope like one day um you know we'll be everywhere and helping as many people as possible, and help them grow and flourish into their purpose. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me today and give me the opportunity to talk, about share a little bit about my stories and the background. And I'm a proud Haitian woman. I always say it, Haitian till death. And I'm a living witness that there's hope. I want the Haitian community to know that, I'm here for them. We're here to help. Do not hesitate to reach out, and it's such a pleasure to meet you, ladies. Hopefully, that not gonna stop there. Go through the situation, and like I mentioned, I moved here after the earthquake, and I didn't come to stay here. I came because I was sick and I decided to stay. So based on that, the different situation that I've been through and how hard it was to get, and mostly like started from the background that I had in Haiti, and going through the situation was very hard for me, because it was two different lives. I had to be in different situations where I would have never think that I would be, and I had to face it alone and thrive above it. So of course I'm gonna say like there's hope, and once you're alive, there's always hope. Personally, that's how I feel. The only way that you're not alone, speak up and speak out.